What's insulting to the military is to sit people down and tell them that by virtue of their skin color, they are inherently oppressed or an oppressor, and that is inescapable. That is considerably more offensive than an amendment to talk about whether or not this is the right and just thing for the Department of Defense to be engaged in. I would further observe that the way critical race theory is presented is not like an understanding of history. It's just that we don't tell people that they are locked in to this future because it's fundamentally un-American. And to my colleagues' questions about whether or not I intend to use this hearing to go after the diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives and the critical race theory in the military, the answer to that question is unequivocally yes. We will spend as many hours as it takes to de-Wokify this military, and it's not an effort to dominate the time. And I think that's what our military deserves, and it's not divisive for us to do that. What was divisive was to use prior National Defense Authorizations Acts to establish these programs. Like in all these hearings where we drag the top brass of the military in and ask them questions, like the easiest response for any of them to us when we point out these bad things that they're doing is to say, look, you all demanded it in National Defense Authorization Acts. You told us we had to have a 5-year plan. So I view this not as a wedge issue, not as divisive, but as remedial. We have to go and remediate the bad things that have happened as a consequence of this embrace of radical gender ideology and radical race ideology. A point my colleague Mr. Waltz always makes in these discussions. Republicans don't obsess about these things because we're so eager to chat about them. These things get brought to us by our constituents and by people who are wearing the uniform.